everyone, Steering from Steering Gaming. Today we're running the Cathedral Eternal Night. Now this was a dungeon added about halfway through Legion, I believe, where you're on the Broken Isles fighting back to get to the Tomb of Sargeras. As you can see, we have Illidan and Maiev right here with us. We're just going to run right into it, so sit back and enjoy.
Our forces have engaged the Legion on the ground floor. We must place the Aegis in the tower before our losses grow insurmountable.
Our guests of honor have finally arrived.
I need to target
I look
something.
forward to ripping those horns from your skull, betrayer!
There is nowhere you can flee that I cannot reach you, demon!
Illidan! Curse that impetuous demon hunter!
I need to get closer.
Now, if you just run and not take this guy out, he actually ends up chasing you down. So we're just going to take him out now, get it out of the way. And then we're just going to make our way all the way around to here. Now these fell bats here are the Dreadwings. If you're a skinner, you can actually skin them, so. Let's just line of sight a little bit here. And you can see they also have Shadow Wall and Burning Souls. It's... You don't want to... Back then, you didn't want to pull massive groups because these demons knew how to buff one another. There we go. Now you see... This can increase your haste, but back then it also took fire damage from it, so you gotta love all that fell damage. As you can see, apparently I never finished that quest. Well, after this video, I guess I'm running back to Dalaran. And I'm trying to see if I can get something known as Fellhide off them. They're demons after all, so you never know. Small chance, maybe. Well, we did get a stomach content. Let's see. Bones. Now we're going to head up the stairs here.
I need a target.
I'm just curious. Is there anything in here? Seems that I did not complete this new look I had yet. Apparently I am still wearing the wrong back piece, but we'll have that corrected by next video. I see there are Fellborn here now too. But we're coming up to our first boss, Argonax. We're going to clear out this because I want to try to show you the abilities here. Try to get rid of everything here. I'm getting yanked away. I love these vines. Now you can actually use herbalism too on these. Surprisingly, a lot of dungeons back then, you were able to skin, mine, herb, a lot, surprisingly. Okay, well, the guy was slow. Here's our boss. See, it's not that bad. As you can see, he has poisonous spores, which the floor of the Hanging Garden erupts into colorful but deadly clouds, doing nature damage every 2 seconds, and this stacks up. For tanks, you got to be aware of Timber Smash, which slam of his bark-covered fist does physical damage to the current target and knocks him back. Choking Vines, which you saw earlier, is vines lash to the player, inflicting nature damage every second until they're 20 yards from the bloom. This will actually increase every 10 by 10% for every tick. Now these lashers here, as you see, are called forth by the boss, and they will do floral fumigation, which they'll detonate when they reach the target. So you need to kill them before they get to their target. Let's get this boss engaged.
Disturb nature's perfection.
As you see, he's also been corrupted by the Fel. And he didn't launch me because I'm higher up on the level.
Feel your throat tighten.
We'll run right up to the lasher, as you can see.
I will crush the life from you.
Now you gotta run away from this plant so you don't die from the choke.
This breath will be your last.
As you can see, I'm not gonna die. My Animus Spear will keep healing me. But more or less, that's just the basic of the fight.
This breath will be your last.
We'll end this boss here pretty fast.
Now I shall fight the sword.
And as for this boss, if you have Herbalism, you can just go ahead and take him out too. Now we're gonna make our way next to Thrashbite. It's been a little bit, so give me a moment, and here we are. Now let's bring up our map. We want to go this way, up the stairs. As you can see, there are a bunch of Felborn here too. Fortunately, Nightfall that decided to join. And here's my Ev.
Illidan left behind a mess. Stay close. We shall carve a path through these demons.
If I don't get stuck. And here we are at the archives. Let's I just love hearing that shield bounce off target.
I don't have a
Fools
target.
want to outsmart the Legion? Think again.
And there is Thrashbite. Okay. Thrashbite the Scornful. And see, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think Smashbite was back in Blackrook. Not sure, but this is his brother. For this, you have Pulverizing Cudgel. Slams the ground with his cudgel, as you can see. Does physical damage and a chunk of massive damage of all enemies within 15 yards. Scornful Gaze is he'll focus the gauge on a target and then he'll perform a charge. Now this is a deadly charge. He'll impact the first person he comes on with, knocking them back, or if he runs into a bookshelf, he destroys. Back then, when this happened, you had a LS, or line of sight, behind the bookshelves because this could one-shot people. Now his heavy cudgel here, he'll hurl this outside this outer ring here, doing physical damage to anyone in the pathway. Pretty simple fight. So we're just gonna taunt here and see how it happens.
Come here and fight!
Here's pulverizing cudgel. And it missed. Parry. Block. As you can see, you didn't want it to be outside this outer ring when this happened. That was pretty much guaranteed an instant death.
Gonna run you dummies over!
A near scornful gaze. Gaze. And that's why you wanted to make sure he ran into that, so you wouldn't get killed.
Come here and fight!
And you see, it didn't show you, but he is temporarily
To
stunned.
target something.
Now we move forward. On our way to Domatrax. Oh boy, they're all running for their portal. As you can see, they made a beeline to get out of there to their portal because they are, well, imps, of course. Imps, the cowardly of all demons. We're gonna make our way up the stairway. It's basically you're just fighting your way through demons to get up further and further. And now you're up to the arachnid type demons here. Let's check our map. As you see, there's also ads hanging from the ceiling, apparently. Now, I thought it would have been cool if you actually had to use the webbing to kind of get around this room. It would have been a nice idea, honestly. But here's Illidan and Maiev.
Did you really think you could elude me, Illidan? Run again, and I'll shackle you like the beast you are.
Posture if you must, Maiev. But for now, do what you do best and follow me.
We've lost. The Legion broke our lines. They pushed us out of the tomb. You're all that stands between them and the Aegis. They are coming!
Let them come. Maiev and I will hold them on the stairs below.
Forgive me if my glaive finds your heart, Illidan. With so many demons about, it's hard to distinguish you from the rest of this filth.
They do sound like a bickering old couple, don't they? Well, this room here is actually the room for both bosses. First will be Domatrax, and I'm not going to initiate it until that, but as you see, it is more or less a Fell Lord. Pretty big guy. But let's get here. Fell Lord leads the onslaught against the Aegis. Abilities are Felso Cleave, which does fire damage to enemies within 20 yards in a cone in front of the caster. And it drains the Aegis by 50%. The energies arc from the caster, doing fire damage to all. Frenzy will gain attack speed by 15% for 2 minutes. Now, Fell Portal Guardian, you defeat these to destroy the portals they are guarding and prevent additional adds from coming into the battle. Now, the Aegis does play a part. It protects all allies within its radius, reducing damage by 90, but also reducing the damage inflicted by 75 and healing. Getting hit by the cleave while sitting within the Aegis drains protection energy from the shield over time. And as you see, we have 2 stages in here. First one is known as the March of the Imps. Upon reaching 9% health, Domatrax tears open a portal allowing the imps to enter the fray. These little imps just have Fell Blast, which does fire damage to all enemies within 4 yards of the impact zone. After you take them down to 50%, stage 2, the Burning Hordes will show up. This is when Felguards, known as Hellblaze Felguard, shows up. They inflict fire damage to all enemies within a cone of 10 yards in front of them. leaving the fire puddles in the air that inflict fire damage every second. Alright, we're going to sit down the Aegis here and get this battle initiated.
Gil Jaden sends his gratitude for delivering the Aegis into our hands.
Alright, throw our taunt out.
Full might of the Legion falls upon you!
Now you see you can stand inside that zone to guard. That's why you don't want to have the Felso Cleave hit that, because you'll, over the time of the fight, you need that energy to stay there. See, we're gonna summon up a few portals. Phase 2. As you can see, if you stand in there, I believe it actually drains energy slowly from it. Yep. If you stand within the Aegis, you're actually draining energy, so it's only needed when you truly need to get there.
Fiends, tear down that shield!
I need a target.
My axe hungers for flesh!
Now, this is when you would use the Aegis here. It's when he casts chaotic energy, that's when you run into the shield. In order to avoid the massive damage you could take from it. Other than that, pretty simple forward fight. Make sure you focus the abs when they
This
come.
world will belong to the Legion.
I grab the Aegis here, as you see. I can use this. This will actually become useful in the next fight. So we'll grab it again, and as you can see, don't know why I said, but Mephistoth is your next boss, and as I said, Aegis here will play. You need to face this towards the shadow of Mizrath to protect Illidan from Shadow Blast. As you can see, there are 2 stages. Stage 1 is when you fight Mephistoth. I'll have Carrion Swarm, which sends chaotic magic splashes over all enemies from the castle, dealing shadow damage, but also leaving shadow puddles that deal shadow damage every second. And Monica Upheaval, which hurls spell energy at a random target that places an aura on them. And when the aura expires, the Fell Spike erupts at that destination, doing fire damage to all enemies within 5 yards and knocking them back, as well as doing fire damage to anyone within 18. Now, Dark Solitude hurls dark energy at random does shadow damage to all nearby enemies and places a debuff, which makes them take additional shadow damage every second for 8. After that, Stage 2 will initiate, and where Shadow Fade is he'll disappear into the shadows and become invisible until Illidan can complete his Expel Shadows. While in this phase, shadows of Mephistoth will appear to try to assault Illidan to prevent this from being cast. This is where the shield will come into play. Creeping shadows, as long as he remains in the shadows, you will take shadow damage will increase slowly per stack every second. Now it has Illidan here, he's trying to cast Expel Shadows. To draw him from the shadows, you need to make sure Illidan completes his cast, and if he's interrupted, it will lengthen the shadow time, the cast time on this. During this time, these shadows will be casting Shadow Blast, which on impact will inflict shadow damage to the target. Now, if the person with the shield can't stop it, you can basically run in front of it and take the hit. Now, to initiate this boss fight, we're just going to kill these Dreadwings.
I will hold the skies, see to the Aegis.
Of course. Grab the Aegis.
Surrender the
There's
shield,
Illidan.
and I
He's
will
fighting.
grant you a quick death.
As you see, we're gonna have a spike of fell show up. Ooh, that's big. You gotta make sure you get out of that circle.
How kind of you to bring the Aegis to me.
As you can see, I'm gonna have to get this guy down to that phase where he'll have Illidan pop at in to help. But that's like, you got a small glimpse of the abilities you gotta worry about, so.
Surrender the shield, and I will grant you a quick death.
Guys, here's Shadow Thing.
Beware the shadows.
Here comes Illidan.
To me, heroes! Shield me with the Aegis while I tear this Dreadlord from the shadows.
You gotta block these in order to make sure Illidan finishes his cast. Now you can kill these to help negate
There is nowhere left to run, demon!
As you see, having your group kill those ads is a good thing while the tank runs around trying to survive.
What is this?
Can it be the Guardian?
In ages past, this shield defended the young world soul against madness and corruption. Today, it serves those who fight for Azeroth. I am Aegrin, Guardian of Tirisfal. I left behind this echo of my power as a safeguard, in the event that the wards I put in place to protect the tomb failed. Indeed, I sense that the Master of the Burning Legion now schemes to claim his prize. Yet there is still hope. By anchoring the Pillars of Creation in the halls below, you will restore my wards and push back against the invaders. Then you must venture into the depths of the tomb and use the Eye of Aman'Thul to eradicate the Fellstorm and sever the Legion's link to Azeroth. But the Pillars alone cannot bring victory. Only a united army founded on strength and courage can conquer the Legion. When you and your allies are prepared for the final battle, my Echo will return to aid you. The fate of Azeroth rests in your hands.
Khadgar will want to hear of this.
It seems preparations are in order.
As you can see, that is the end of the Cathedral of the Eternal Night. This is Asterion from Asterion Gaming. Asking to please hit that like, subscribe. Also go check out my Twitch channel. Until then, I'll see you all in the next video.